Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about some of the downsides of a reverse mortgage. If you're a homeowner or know somebody that is a homeowner, you've likely heard of what a reverse mortgage is. A reverse mortgage is a very powerful tool for retirees, but as there are pros, there will also be cons. So let's go into some of the cons of a reverse mortgage and see if this really makes sense for you or one of your loved ones. Before we dive into some of the downsides of a reverse mortgage, we also need to dive into some of the upsides, because let's be honest, there's a lot of upsides with a reverse mortgage. And it's a very powerful tool for retirees as you're 62 or age above 62 and older. You don't have any monthly mortgage payment, and you can use that equity towards anything that you can think of, whether it be medical expenses or vacation or upgrades to the house, or even just to have on the back end just in case something happens. It gives you that flexibility and that benefit to have access to your equity as you get into later stages of life. But like I said, with pros also come cons, and there are some drawbacks to a reverse mortgage, and let's get into some of those drawbacks. One of the biggest misconceptions of a reverse mortgage is that it's free money. No, it is not free money. You are tapping into the equity in your house. And as you are tapping into the equity, when you think of a traditional mortgage, you are making monthly payments to decrease that balance over time. You've got to think of it backwards with a reverse mortgage. You have to have significant equity in the house, but instead of going forward and paying down that balance, you're receiving payments and going backwards. So as you receive payments, you're not making any payments on the interest that is accruing on the back end. And so the interest is always going to accrue on the balance of what will be owed on that property as you go in reverse. And so what that means is when you go to sell the property, then you have to pay that balance back, whatever is owed on the property at that time. As I talk to homeowners as well, something that catches them off guard is this is not a responsibility-free mortgage loan. This is a great program that is going to allow you to tap into that equity, and you won't have any sort of monthly mortgage payment, but you do have responsibility to maintain your property as well as maintain the payments for your property taxes, your homeowner's insurance, and your HOA. If you don't make any of those three payments, your property will be at risk of being taken away from you because you're not maintaining the property or your responsibilities for your property. A lot of the time when you hear that people have lost their homes due to reverse mortgage, it is because they have not actually maintained their property tax payments or their homeowner's insurance or their HOA. A lot of people think that if they don't make their HOA, they're going to be fine. But no, you have to make your HOA payment or your house can go into foreclosure and the property will be seized from you. So when you hear these stories of homeowners getting a reverse mortgage and then having their property taken away, it is because they have not continued to pay these property taxes, homeowners insurance, or HOA like they agreed to in the very beginning. Fortunately, if you have any concern or problems making these payments, when you're getting a reverse mortgage in the very beginning, you have the ability to make those payments through what's called a LISA, or a life expectancy set aside. What this means is they're going to calculate your life, like what you're expected to live to, and how much your property taxes, homeowners insurance, and HOA is going to be up until that age. And they can set aside that certain amount out of your equity to make that payment. Another big thing to consider when getting a reverse mortgage is your heirs. So your family taking ownership of that property once you pass or need to sell the property. That is a huge conversation that I always make sure to involve the entire family members in on this conversation, because if they're expecting significant equity out of this property, then a reverse mortgage may not be the right option. However, as I speak to families, they will say, Mom, Dad, we are fine. We have our own assets. We have our own families to worry about. You worry about your house. You worry about your retirement. And we just worry about you getting the care that you need as you age. So they will be fine with that balance tacking on to the mortgage as they go backwards. and having that possibility of not having any equity in the property once their family member passes away or the house is sold and that reverse mortgage has to be paid off. Now, fortunately, there is a solution for this as well. Let's say there is significant equity in the property. You don't have to sell when your family member passes away or you decide to sell the property. You can actually refinance that property back into the family or heirs name, and they can retain that property to sell later on or to rent or to keep for another family member. So there's plenty of options if there is significant equity in that property still. Another question I get from homeowners is, hey Josh, if I get a reverse mortgage, am I gonna have to worry about the monthly payments affecting my ability to receive government assistance, so like Social Security? Fortunately, you do not. This is your asset. You are receiving those funds, and this is not considered monthly income for you, so that will not affect the government assistance. All right, so we've covered a lot of topics here, whether it be good or bad. A lot of what we discussed are kind of the cons that I hear or the questions I hear around some of the cons that are out there for reverse mortgages. Now, again, guys, I'm going to reiterate, reverse mortgages are not for everyone. There are certain circumstances where a reverse mortgage is exactly what an elderly person needs, but there's also circumstances where it is not. I always would love to chat with retirees as well as any family members to see if a reverse mortgage really makes sense for you and your family. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and help this channel grow so we can help people understand the complexity of reverse mortgages and so they can know that they're not all bad. Now, again, not for everybody, but they are for some. Reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much.